and welcome to Ghana in 24, your favorite update hub, where we give you the backstories of the biggest happenings in Ghana over the past 24 hours, and we dare to give you the extra info that some may not be willing to say. I am your regular host, Adam Kudu. Now today we would be looking at a number of COVID related stories where we have a number of high profile institutions having to close down as a result of the COVID scare. We also bring to you an update on suspected COVID cases in a number of senior high schools in Ghana, including some troubling news coming from the KNUST SHS in Kumasi. Then also, if you are a public transport patron just like myself, then brace yourself, because from Saturday 11th of July we are to expect some increases in our transport fares. I will tell you why this is happening and by what percentage you should be expecting the increase to cover. And then finally, the Auditor-General seems not to be going out of the news these days ever since he was asked to go on leave. Some institutions are telling the president that he erred. I'll also bring you details of all that right after this break. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back to Ghana in 24. Now, in our first story, we will be looking at a number of COVID related issues. Now, yesterday I brought to you that Bust and Cocoa Board had to close down temporarily because a number of their staff had been infected by the dreaded COVID-19 virus. Now, information coming to Ghana in 24 indicates that the Finance Ministry has also closed down as a result of this scare. Not only the Finance Ministry, the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in Ghana, has suspended all of its cases this week as a result of the COVID scare. The COVID, as I said yesterday, seems to be on a rampage, and the earlier we find a way of putting it under control, the better it is for our country, Ghana. Now, in some good news related to the COVID, you would remember that Education Minister Honorable Martin Opoku Prempeh had been admitted at the UGMC for what could be a COVID scare. Now, in a statement signed by his press secretary, Mr. Rodney Nkrumah Boateng, he is saying that after being admitted in the hospital for 2 weeks, the minister has finally been discharged. Also, Deputy Health Minister Honorable Okoboy has informed the public that former party chairman Mr. McMenu is gradually on his way to recovery. We wish all of them a speedy recovery and hope that this disease claims no life any further. Now, concerning senior high schools, if you would remember, 6 students from the Accra Girls Senior High School tested positive over the weekend. Now, the Ghana Health Service says that after undertaking enhanced contact tracing, 648 contacts have been found who are going to be tested and monitored for the virus. Now, as I told you yesterday, Kumasi Wesley Senior High School also confirmed their first case. Now, in a very rather disheartening situation, this student was actually asked to go home before he was informed that he had tested positive for the COVID virus. Now, his family is a bit worried that having not informed him before he got home, he would possibly have come into contact with so many people unknowingly and infected them. And we hope that this situation does not persist. But then, the National Association of Graduate Teachers are speaking. Well, NAGRAT President Mr. Angel Kabonu is saying that schools should be closed down. I don't know whether you agree with his suggestion. Just drop your comments and let me know what you think about the situation, because Mr. Kabonu says that it is obvious that the situation is gradually getting out of hands. In a rather disheartening story, there's some issues from the KNUST SHS. Take a look at this video. I'll be back with details.
Really?
Look at video. You this
I'm sure a number of you have heard about this situation. Others might not really know, but this is something that is really unacceptable. In the video that just went by, if you are not aware, that was a student actually dying. And unfortunately, teachers were just watching without doing anything. And can you imagine that the students who were helping this student were told to stop because the teachers said they were scared that the child was suffering from COVID. But since when does COVID make you this way? No, this is very, very disheartening. Now, this is the backstory. So, yesterday, one student believed to be an ulcer patient had an attack yesterday, and students kept calling for help, asking that he be sent to the nearest hospital to be treated. Now, the teachers around said that they were scared because they thought it was a COVID fear. But even if it was a COVID fear, couldn't they have called an ambulance to come check out the patient? Even more disheartening was that the headmistress, according to the students, when called, said that her car wasn't to transport sick people. Now, unfortunately, the student in that video died, and students of KNUST have gone on a rampage since yesterday, destroying property belonging to the school, including the car belonging to the headmistress, which didn't take the student to the hospital. Police had to be called in for calm to return to the campus. But I believe that there is more to this story, and this, of course, is an unfortunate incident that has happened in that school. Now, on the flip side, the students are saying that this is not a physical issue. They are attributing this death to a spiritual issue. And why are they saying that? According to a source in the school, the students are saying that this would happen to be the 7th person to die in that school in this year alone. And strangely enough, all the deaths have occurred on a Tuesday. I don't know if you believe in superstition, I don't know if you believe in spirituality, but just share to us what you think about this very, very disheartening situation. Feel free to drop your comments in the comment section and let me know what you are thinking. At this juncture, I'll take a short break and I'll be back with the rest of the stories. Once again, don't go anywhere. You are welcome back once again to Ghana in 24. My name remains Eden Kojo. Now, I don't know if you are a public transport or a private transport person. Well, for me, I do not have a car, and so my movement is always either by trotro, by taxi, or my two-wheel drive, which are my legs. Now, the GPRTU have announced that effective 11th July 2020, which is coming Saturday, you should expect your transport fares to be increased. Now, this has to be on the back of the COVID-19 situation, where government earlier in the year directed all public transport drivers to observe social distancing in their cars. So now a taxi that would have taken 4 passengers is now taking 3 passengers, and a trotro that would have taken 3 at the back is now taking 2. Now, for months, the trotro drivers have been complaining of making very huge losses, and as early as last week, they actually threatened to increase fares by a whopping 30%. Well, the transport minister came out to say that this was illegal, but after deliberations yesterday, the Deputy Minister for Transport, Honorable Titus Grover, announced to Ghanaians that effective Saturday, our transport fares are going to be increased by 15%. What do you think about this increment? Do you think it's a fair increment? Do you think that government should probably do something else by rather decreasing the price of fuel so that drivers do not pass on that burden to the passengers? Once again, feel free to drop your comments for us here in Ghana in 24 to know what is happening. Now, in my final story, I hope you remember Mr. Daniel Dumelovu, the Auditor-General, who has been in the middle of a whole leave saga about a week ago. Now, 435 civil society organizations have come out to tell the president that his directive for the Auditor-General to go on an accumulated leave is unlawful. According to them, the use of accumulated leave is illegal and has no place in our laws. They have therefore asked the president to reverse this, as they believe would fracture the relationship between the presidency and the office of the Attorney General. Now, Director for CDD Ghana, Dr. Kojo Asante, has actually said that according to consultations with lawyers, this directive by the president was wrong. and as such they are calling on the president to revoke his call for the Auditor-General to go on an accumulated leave, saying that if anything at all, the president should have just asked that he takes his 2020 leave alone. But then in some kind of a rebuttal, the Minister of Information, Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, has applauded them and says that it is welcoming that CSOs have raised this issue. But this does not, however, mean that the president erred. And he is saying that if the CSOs have a case, then they should head to the law courts and get a ruling in their favor. And he doesn't see why, if they are going to the law court, they still want to appeal to the president to make that decision. Because from where he sits, the president made no error. What do you think about this? Do you think that the CSOs also have a good case? But then, with the reminder that the Supreme Court have also suspended sittings following COVID scares, do we expect any closure to this matter anytime soon? Your guess, as always, is as good as mine. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. My name remains Adam Kojo. Once again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and stay safe. Have a good day. Bye-bye.